So very good evening to all of you to another very amazing and informative session on Shiksha. I'm Bhagyashree, your moderator for this session. And today, of course, we know the topic. We'll be talking about MBA internship experience. And for that, we have Sameer Choudhary. He is there doing, he has done his internship he's a summer associate consultant at BCG. And to talk about more about his experience and his profile, I'll just come to Sameer. Sameer would like to extend a warm welcome to you on the session and would request you to please briefly introduce yourself.
Yeah. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in. So I'll just quickly introduce myself. So my name is Sameer Choudhary. I'm a mechanical engineering graduate from year of 2020 from NIT Bhopal. Post which I joined Maruti Suzuki as territory sales manager, where I was handling sales operations in Rajasthan. Then my mind drifted towards marketing and sales. So, I got an interest and I thought to pursue my MBA. So I cracked FMS Delhi in the year 2021. And that's where the whole MBA journey started for me. And for the summer placements that is there in the first year of your MBA, I interned with BCG and I received a PPO from BCG as well. And I'll be here to answer all your queries related to pre-MBA journey, during MBA, even my post-MBA plans and all sorts of things that you have in mind.
Absolutely. Thank you for that introduction, Sameer. And yes, so starting off with pre-MBA, when you think of pre-MBA, like preparing for your exams, giving all sorts of MBA entrances and, SNAP, NMAT, CAT, everything you do. So how was your journey, while preparing for those exams? What all exams did you give?
Yeah. So my whole pre-MBA journey involved 2 attempts of CAT. And in my first attempt, I was in my final year of my graduation. And that is where I, was focusing not only on the CAT preparation, but side by side on my graduation and final placements as well. So during that time, I explicitly focused on practicing and getting the basics done. Right. So for that, I used to join online coachings, online videos, tutorials, every sort of resource that I can find my hands on. I just tried it out. There was no structure to my preparation in the first attempt. And in my first attempt, I got a decent percentile. However, the colleges that I want to get into were still far as per my performance. So I decided to, let's give another try. And that is where during the second attempt, while I was working, that was a structured attempt. So yeah, that is, how I pursued in my second attempt. And I had limited time during because my job, I was handling job as well as preparation. So I explicitly focused on, getting my practice done in weekdays after I come from my job. So I used to give 2 to 3 hours of mock test, full length mock test or sectional mock tests. Right. And during the weekends on Saturdays and Sundays, I used to revise and brush up my theory and do the practice things. So that was my, preparation journey. I had a plan for around 4 months of preparation, and that's how I gave my another attempt to CAT.
Right. So when you talk about giving attempts to CAT, was there any particular reason, or is just that you wanted to score better and get into a better institute? Was that the reason?
Right. So, giving my first attempt was slightly a half-hearted attempt, that I would agree, because, you are juggling things up. You're juggling your final year placements. You are also going and attending classes of your graduation. And then you are preparing for CAT. And CAT, as in an exam, it's more about your common sense, how much you practiced, how you perform in those 3 hours. That matters the most, irrespective of your practice or your IQ or EQ, right? So, that all those things when combined, I realized that, I was not, it was worth it to give another try, another attempt in a more structured manner, and, to not repeat the mistakes that I did in my first attempt. So that was the whole motivation.
Right. So, Sameer, apart from CAT, were there any other MBA entrances that you did try for or you looked up to?
Yeah. So as every CAT aspirant used to do, right? Yeah. I have written ZAT, NMAT, every even test as well. Even though I didn't have any clue what MBA in HR would mean, but I still filled the form for test, right? So that is why, I gave all the exams. I just wanted to hedge my, luck factor, because these competitive exams involve a great deal of luck as well. And, if you give multiple attempts, if you have multiple exams, then I think in one of them you will be at your full potential and you will get what you desire for.
Right. I totally agree. And there are a lot of students who are like, who will be sitting for NMAT, SNAP, CAT, for ZAT. So they'll be probably sitting for all. And the only motive is to obviously get to the best one they want to. So that does matter. Okay. Okay. Coming to this question from Vimal. Okay. Doing MBA from average college, is it worth it? Okay. That's a good question.
Right. So, Vimal, I also used to think the same way. I also had this question that, doing it from top 10 B schools of
Yeah.
India or, go below that. But, after my corporate experience that I had in Maruti Suzuki, as well as in BCG, when I observed my colleagues, my senior managers, those who were there in the upper hierarchies, who were driving the organizations, what I find is and this is the rule that applies to all degrees across colleges, across countries, right? Your institution or a B school will only provide you your first job that you
Yeah.
get off campus, right? And your first job, I have seen hardly any alums of my institution, both in undergrad and postgrad levels, that have stayed in their first job, right?
Yeah.
So even if you do it from an average college, you might get an average first job from that college, but after that it's an open field, right? So what all matters is your skills that you will be presenting in that organization, and there is no upper level to there is no one stopping you once you start your professional career. So I believe that doing an MBA just for the learning part and getting into the industry is something that is worth it, even for an average college as well. You just have to make your way through depending on your interests and your skill sets.
Yeah, I totally agree to that. Okay, coming to some more questions that's here, and probably on the registration page also we have received few queries that I would definitely drop to you, Samir, and would want to answer them. Okay, coming to this question from Afreen. Afreen is asking, like, what's the advantage of doing an MBA internship?
Right. So, what's the advantage of an MBA internship? I would say the advantages are immense because, in India, the MBA is typically structured as a 2-year program. So, an internship in most of the MBA programs is an integral part of the curriculum itself. So, you will have to do some form of an internship or a project. So, better do an internship. The second is, especially for students who are freshers or who don't
Yeah.
have any corporate experience post their undergrad, I think a summer internship provides you, insights to your inner self itself, that what sort of things you look for in a career. Are you a person who is very competitive? Are you a person who wants to pursue certain interest? Are you a person who can work together as a team in corporates? You learn those skills in summer internships, and summer
Yeah.
internships is a way where you can make mistakes and still everyone is going to support you immensely throughout your tenure. So you learn very fast, right? So that is why I think summer internships is an integral part, and it's very good for fresher students as well.
Yeah. Okay. I think, Afreen, that helps you with that question. Okay. Okay. So let's just come to the entire process of once you are like pursuing your MBA, and when you're like through your 2 years towards the end of the final year, you start getting these hands-on training experience. So what exactly is the entire process that is involved here?
Right. So for most of the companies that visit MBA campuses, a typical hiring process is followed, which involves basically 3 steps, right? So the first and foremost step is your one-pager CV. That is common across all campuses, across all companies. Every company, gets one-pager profile of yours on which they analyze, are you a good fit for the role? Have you have any prior experiences that they will like to engage in? And that is where the first component comes in. That is where the first filter kicks in, right? So your one-pager CV is very important, right? It should include every achievement that you have done since your childhood, right? It can be of any significance. It's not necessarily an academic achievement. I have seen great CVs where students were professional basketball players. They have played on nationals, Kathak dancers. So you can include everything that actually expresses you in a very good way, right? So you have to right? It is something like an advertisement of yourself only, right? But that includes in one page. So your one pager CV is the first step. Second step involves slight variations across companies. So it can be buddy programs where they'll be assigning you a buddy who will have a normal conversation with you and will gauge your interest towards the job, right? Are you motivated to pursue that internship or that job that you are applying for, right? It can also be a group discussion where they will gauge your teamwork skills, right? How do you present yourself in front of other members? Do you collaborate well, right? So all those soft skills they test in the GD. And the final is the interview round, where there is a personal interview, right? Where a panel just questions you on, any sort of thing that you may have written on your CV, or sort of to gauge your interest. Why are you doing this job, or why do you want to pursue it? What are your future plans? So it's typically an interview which can go in any direction, right? So these three steps is what you will be required once you enter a B school.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you for that answer. Okay, coming to your question, Sonam, she would like to know about your profile, 10th, 12th, graduation. Okay, she is a CAT aspirant and her dream is also FMS Delhi. And also she would want you to share about your interview. Okay, there are a lot of things that Sonam wants to know. Okay.
For sure. For sure. So I'll start with my academic profile. So I've done well in academics right from my 10th standard. And in 10th, I got 10 out of 10 CGPA. In 12th, I had 94%. And in my undergrad, I scored 90% in my BTech in mechanical engineering. So that was my academic profile. Now coming to my FMS Delhi experience. So specifically for FMS Delhi, CAT score is something which has a lot of weightage, right? Not academics. Academics accounts for a mere 5% of the weightage. And the personal interview is where, the bulk of it comes in, right? Apart from CAT. So as you must have mentioned that your dream B school is also FMS. So I would believe academics is not necessarily a thing that you should be worried about, right? Pertaining to the CAT, I think you should maximize your percentile, right? The more, the better it be. Now, my interview experience, now FMS interviews are held in such a way that they would like to shock the aspirant, and they just want how they react, naturally, how they react to a shock. So you can be given a extempore where you have to speak for, let's say 2 minutes straight without stopping on blue, right? And you have to relate that word with something of your personal experience, right? So these things, they try to gauge your natural behavior. That is what my experience was also about. And the interviews last for a small amount of time compared to other B schools. Typically 10 to 15 minutes is where they gauge you. And there will be two professors. In my case also, two professors were there, and they will have a general conversation rather than involving any sort of technical questions that are generally asked. So it's a general conversation where they gauge you as a personality, as a person, your interest, your motivation levels in MBA, because MBA itself is hard once you start it. So yeah, those things is what they look for.
All right. So I think Sonam, Samir had shared like all his experience, and we really hope and wish that you could fulfill your dream, get into FMS, and pursue MBA. So definitely all the best for that. Okay. All right. So Rekha is next. Okay. Is it worth doing MBA through distance learning? I think a lot of them have this question that whether they should opt for professional courses in MBA or executive courses and these distance learning. How beneficial is it, Samir, like taking up these?
Right. So let's get deeper into why you want to do an MBA, right? Because then we can get an answer. Is it better to do it through distance learning or a physical program, right? So for someone who wants an MBA as a qualification, right, just as a qualification, because in corporate there are certain bars that you have to clear off, right? There are minimum qualifications that is required for a certain post that you aspire for. So for them who are in their profession, they're actually working and they want a degree so that they can reach a qualification, they can do some learning as well side by side, but they don't want to steer their career drastically, right? For them, distance learning MBA programs makes a real good choice because they give them the sufficient time to pursue education while they are in their careers progressing at the side. For someone who is looking to drastically steer his or her career from, let's say, IT to marketing, or from medical profession or from pharmaceuticals to, let's say, consulting, right? For them, going for a physical MBA program is much better because the whole package of learning, of peer interactions, of networking, of placement supports, those things are much better in a full-time 2-year MBA course in India. So yeah, it depends on the person what are his or her aspirations from an MBA. But for a for a fresher or for a professional who is into job for 2 to 3 years and want to steer his or her career, a full-time MBA makes more sense as per me.
Absolutely. So I think that answers. Sonam, you're most welcome. Okay, I'll quickly come to so many queries coming in. Harshal, okay, I'm coming to your question. Harshal says, I'm in second year of BBA and I have diploma in small enterprise management. Does it grows my profile in MBA college selection? Okay.
So, I mean, absolutely, it grows your profile in MBA selections, right? Provided you have studied all the basics in the BBA, because when you will enter the B school and when you will face the B school interviews, what they will see is they'll check your knowledge in terms of what you have learned in past, irrespective of the degree, whether you are an engineer or a doctor or a biology student or a BBA student, right? They'll just gauge what you have learned. Do you have the learning attitude? Do you have the motivation to learn more? That is what they check, right? So they'll check all the basics, and definitely if you are a BBA student, then going for an MBA makes much more sense if you can justify that you want to learn more, you want to grow more. So yeah.
Right. Okay. I think I saw a question about FMS hostel facilities. Okay. And a bit about the campus. Okay. So I think a lot of you have few queries about FMS. So Sameer, if you would like to tell them about the campus, the hostel facilities, and how the social life is there, the college life, the campus life of there. Yeah.
Right. So FMS as a B school campus in India is very unique, right? It's a part of Delhi University, but it has its own vibrance, it has its own ecosystem, right? So first I'll go towards the campus life. So we have a very good campus in North Campus of Delhi University, as well as one more campus in South Campus, both in Delhi, right? So both in both the campuses, we have classes. So we commute, we have bus services from each campus that act as a shuttle between the two. Coming to the classrooms, we have good classrooms. We have all the facilities that a B school would require: seminar halls, what is it, brainstorming session rooms, meeting rooms. We have huge corporate interactions because we are very near to Gurgaon and Noida, which are the business hubs. So we have visiting faculties, visiting professionals, CXO level executives, even the alumni. So in that sense, it's very complete. Now what FMS offers specially that no other IIMs do offer is the ecosystem that Delhi University provides, right? Because you are surrounded by colleges like SRCC, Hindu, Ramjas, which are great in itself. So you get that part as well, where in IIMs you will be isolated with your fellows only. So that is where the campus life in FMS Delhi is unique, right? Regarding the hostels, we do have hostels. People have the option to stay in the hostels, or they can stay in their rented flats as well, or in their own houses if they are in Delhi. So there is absolute freedom. There is no constraint in where do you want to live. It's just your personal preference. Some students like a hostel life, so they prefer hostels. Some students want their own flats, so they prefer flats. So that is all about FMS.
So I think a lot of you who are looking ahead to FMS, you have a nice vibe out there. So definitely it's a yes to all of you. Okay. Which is the best B college for doing MBA? Tough question, Afreen. Best B college for doing MBA.
So in India, if I'll specifically ask, then, as per my observations and the industry perception of B schools that is there, if you do your MBA from any of the top 8 to 9 institutes that are there in the general rankings, right, then it's all same, right? Every student gets placed in the same companies. They get same offers, packages. The roles that are there are same. So there is no distinction in the top 8 to 10 B schools that are there. However, as you go down in the list, then some niche roles, some investment banking roles, some consulting roles that gets cut off from these campuses, but still they have a lot of varieties of roles that you know you will be really interested to get in, right? So preferably there is no ranking in the top 10. Top 10 are amongst the equals, so I can't rank. Even the corporates don't rank because they also want people, students from different campuses. They want diversity these days, right? So they prefer hiring bunch of people from across the campuses, and together they work to create something great.
Absolutely. And nowadays we have also seen that students are pursuing MBAs, management degrees from IITs as well. So there are a lot of options.
Right.
Okay, coming to another question. I don't see a name, so if you can write your name, that will be good. Do clubs and committees matter in summer?
Right. So in the summer placements, if you are explicitly asking, then clubs and committees won't make a big difference, because summer placements generally happens when you are inside the B school premises for around 4 to 5 months, right? And you are extensively busy in grasping the contents of MBA and preparing for your summer, so you don't get much time for joining in clubs and all, right? And also you will be jam packed in your schedule, so you won't be able to make greater impacts for your summer placements through these activities. However, for your final placements, they play a crucial role, because they give an insight to the recruiter that this person is really motivated towards doing something fabulous, right? So if you do great stuff in the clubs and societies, you show your passion towards the recruiter, then they are more than happy to hire a motivated person for their organization. So yeah, it doesn't matter in summers that much, but for final placements it do significantly matter.
Absolutely. Okay. Sachin, that's an interesting question, because we already have someone who has done his engineering and got into MBA. So he wants to know, is it worth doing MBA after civil engineering? So I think Samir has a similar background of doing engineering and then coming into MBA. So I think he can answer that.
Right. So, MBA is one such degree where I find, its core essence is just how you deal with people, how you communicate with people, how you manage people. That is the core essence of the whole MBA curriculum. Now, in whichever profession there is dealing of people, interaction between people in the office or collaborating, an MBA would be a great skill to have, a great degree to have, right? So in case of civil engineering, I have many batchmates who have worked in Larsen and Toubro and have joined in the MBA. And all these professions actually make a really good, past experience to go and pursue your MBA. Recruiters really like these past experiences if a candidate has, where they have managed people, they have done collaborative work, they have communicated, and all sorts of things. So for a civil engineer, it makes much more sense to do an MBA early on in their life, because later on it's harder to get into the education system back. So yeah, I think you should probably go for an MBA. That's a really good chance.
All right, I'll pick up two more questions, who have this engineering thing with them. So firstly, Tanushri is asking that how should engineers start preparing for entrance exams from the third year? And I think I could see another similar question for an engineer. How and when engineers should start their preparation? So I think you can answer both.
Right. So from my experience, while preparing for CAT in my undergraduation, what I can say is you should not start very early and you should not start very late. There are cons to both of these, because if you start very early, then you might lose your motivation to continue it till the D-Day arrives, right? So what I would recommend from my observation is start at the earliest 1 year before the examination date. That is the time that you will be required to prepare for your CAT examinations from the beginning, to build it and to practice and then to perform on the D-Day. 1 year is, the ideal time for an undergraduate student to start with, right? Now, coming to for working professionals, I think for working professionals, they can start slightly earlier, maybe 1.5 years earlier before their target D-Day examination, because working professionals have time constraints. They are also slightly occupied on weekends as well. They have other responsibilities to go forward to. So yeah, 1 to 1.5 years is the ideal range. However, it also varies from people to people, but don't start very early because you might lose your motivation, and starting late will just add on the pressure at the end of the D-Day, because you will lack the practice, which is actually 80% of your CAT preparation. So yeah.
So I think both of you have got answer to your queries. Okay. Okay, Deepti Moi, I would like to pick your question next. So Deepti Moi says, I already have a 1 year gap after graduation. If I take admission next year, I'll have another year gap. So should I do some internships this year? And how does year gap affects placement?
Yes, so this was one question that also dreaded me as well, because I was a 2020 pass out, and COVID stuck at that time, and I was not sure that my joining will come or it gets delayed, and the gap was increasing on my resume, right? So gap years, they don't matter that much. You just have to not show your gap. What I mean to say is the recruiters don't want that a person was sitting idle for so long, right? So doing an internship, working for an NGO, even handling your family business, right? Those are the ways where you can justify your gap, and there is the recruiter will actually appreciate that you have done something productive while you are not pursuing a professional career or a course. Right. So gap years, if they are not explained well, will definitely create a negative impression. But there are ways so that you even in the times of COVID, your gap won't reflect bad. Even it will reflect much better on your CV. It will be a plus point that you have worked on an NGO, you have done some social work, you have done some internship, anything that is constructive and that is not part of your career goal that you can do in the gap year.
Yes. So I think that would help you. Okay, Rushikesh, I am picking up your question. Don't worry. Okay, so Rushikesh question is I have 21 extracurricular activities, 7 achievements from quiz competition runner-up, national level NGO volunteer, best delegates award of Model United Nations, World Youth Essay Competition, student brand ambassador. That's great. So you have a lot of fellowships and things that you have received. So he's asking that what are my possible chances to getting IIM Bangalore?
Okay, specifically I'm Bangalore, right? So fellowships and everything, these are really great accolades to have on your CV, and definitely the interviewer will get impressed from this, right? However, if you just see the criteria of it, then all those accolades will help you in your interview marks, right? They'll create a good impression, but you will have to drive that interview, right? So ultimately, the responsibility comes on to you, how you present all these accolades, right? These are all plus points to have that differentiates you from other candidates. But then again, you should also practice on how you'll be presenting it in an interview. Specifically for IIM Bangalore, I would say IIM Bangalore's criteria emphasizes on work experience very much, as well as having a balanced CAT score across sections, right? So these two components are much more important, while you have all those plus points as accolades and fellowships, but these 2 points will be critical for your selection in IIM Bangalore. So you are already ahead of everyone around you who are pursuing for IIM Bangalore, but you still will have to prepare for CAT that much harder. So yeah.
So Rushikesh, I think that helps with your query, right? Okay. Coming up to this, another question. I think Tanushri had this question, like, is coaching necessary for preparing MBA entrance exams, or there is a way that they can self-prepare and sit for the exams? Like, what is ideal in your scenario? And did you also take online coaching or offline coaching, and take help from those centers?
Right. So I personally have never went for a structured coaching program. I always explored the free content that is provided by many coaching institutes just to build up on my basics. And that is where, your decision for joining a coaching or a structured learning program will be. It will be based on the fact that are your basics clear or not? Because coaching institutes, what they do best is, they build your basics in such a way that yourself become competent enough to practice, and the practice component is where no coaching will ever help you with. You will have to do practice on your own. Coachings can guide you, can build your basics. So if you lack those basic foundations that are there in CAT, in aptitude, in reasoning, in DILR, then definitely I would recommend to join a coaching, because that is much better. However, if you are well versed with the foundation, so let's say in the first attempt you go for a structured learning and you get your foundations done, and then you are going for a second attempt, then I would not recommend to join a coaching full time, rather do more practice, brush up more, because that is where the cat's trick lies, right? You practice more, you will get good marks in mock, and that will reflect in your final results as well.
Right. Okay. Coming to some more query, BA or BMS, which course is good? This is Suraj, who is currently in 12 pursuing science. Okay.
Right. So for MBA, I think no undergraduate course is perfect, because in my batch I have people who have done MBBS and have worked as doctors. I have people who are from zoology. I have people who are from engineering, from humanities, from mathematics. So everyone is there, and there is no differentiation. I don't see any difference between these people. Neither the corporates see any differences in them, right? So your undergraduate won't matter much. So do your undergraduation in the field that you are really interested in, right? We have people from fashion technology as well. We have people who have done political science. So everyone is there. They all sit in the campus, they all do brainstorming together. So your undergraduation won't make much difference.
Right. Okay. So there's no coaching available in my area. What should I do? Okay.
Right. So from my experience, while I was preparing, I realized that the offline coaching as well as the online coaching platforms both have now become at an equal level. So if you have internet, you have access to all the resources, right? So I would recommend, if you cannot join an offline coaching, then don't waste your time commuting to other cities, right? Instead, go for have a stable internet connection in or around your house, and just get access to the world of internet, and just join any coaching, because there are many good tutors, coaching institutes that have come up in the online platform. So you can definitely join online platform as well.
Yes. Okay. Yes, Afreen, I'll definitely take everybody's question. Okay. So just adding another part to the same question. There are a lot of students who are asking about improving their English skills. Vimal is here, and I think another person, if I can't see your name. So they are like, they being an introvert, and they are facing difficulty in speaking in front of a lot of people in English. So does that really affects their MBA prospect, or the course ahead or the career ahead?
Right. So for an introvert, it might be slightly difficult in the beginning, as the MBA curriculum pushes you to interact with more and more people while you do problem solving and assignments in the curriculum. But being an introvert is never a disadvantage, right? It's just a people's trait, and what they feel comfortable about. So now coming to the second question, that how to improve your English speaking skills, right? So there is one answer that have worked for everyone that I have seen around and that have asked me this question. It's just practice, right? There is no shortcut to it, right? There is no no coaching that will just tell you to attend these lectures and your English will become good. You just have to practice this. Now you can practice that with anyone, with your family, with your friends, in your school, while participating in debating competitions, right? There are a lot of competitions that happen in and around speaking skills. So just go forward and participate, right? Don't participate for winning, participate for just the sake of participation. And that will, itself boost your confidence, will make you more fluent in the English, right? So that is the whole trick, right? You just have to practice. That's it.
Yeah. So I think a lot of you had the same issue, Farhan and everyone. So I think this would really help you. So just don't worry. Okay. Coming to next question. What are the things one should keep in mind before starting preparation for MBA entrance exams? Okay. Maybe briefly we can share like what all things they can understand.
Right. So the first and foremost is, when you are starting. So that I think I have covered, like how much time will you be requiring? Because once the exam dates come closer, and if you are not prepared, then the stress levels start to increase, and that affects your mock test and eventually your final exam as well, right? So be very cautious of your level, your preparation time, the time that you will be required, right? So start at the right moment, right? That is the first one. The second one is, just have a very clear mindset that what all B schools you want to target, and just have it in your mind that I want to pursue these examinations, and shortlist your criterias, right? Because I have seen people who give many exams, like 20 to 30 exams, and they get that, then they convert a few B schools, right? And then they are confused that, should we give another attempt or should we not? So be very clear in that. Do your primary research, align your career goals with it, then go forward with the journey. Because if you prepare for all the exams, then your syllabus will be very wide, because few B school examinations have general studies, general knowledge as well, right? So if you start covering everything in a very short span of time, then you won't be able to excel greatly in any one of the exams, right? So short it down, your priorities, and then start at the right time. So these two things.
Absolutely. Okay. Coming to the next question. Okay, I see a lot of queries coming up here. Let's see. Can we choose in what field we want to take our career ahead with? For example, if someone wants to take his career forward in operations, then is it possible that he only sits for those companies that provide operational roles, or is it necessary that he or she will have to apply for all the companies visiting? Okay.
Right. So definitely in B school campuses, no one will force you to apply for all the companies. It's definitely your choice to sit in any company that you want to pursue for any role that you specifically want to get in. Why people apply to most of the companies, or why this perception is there, it's because of the insecurity that a person might have, because we feel lack of confidence while the summer placements or the final placement process begins. So if you're confident that if you're very sure that you want a operations role in this or this company, then go forward, apply to that company only, right? Because in India, if you get into top B schools, then there is a very less likelihood that you will be leaving the institute without a job, even if you selectively apply, right? So just work hard on your CAT examination, get into a top B school, and then you can explicitly select based on your interest the company you want or the profile you want to. So yeah, it makes absolutely more sense to apply selectively.
Right. And Samin, is there any MBA specialization that you see currently is very popular, or I would say in their term that's the best one that they could opt for? So is there any specialization over there?
Right. So, specialization is what I would believe is you should do it. You should select the specialization based on your interest levels and not the industry trends. However, if you look for past industry trends, especially post COVID, then I think business analytics is something which is very emerging. So there are specialized MBA programs for business analytics. That is where you can look forward to. Also, MBA in operations or supply chain has become, have taken the limelight from all the specializations. So these two, I think, for the post-COVID era, I've seen that these two are very prominent amongst the recruiters as well. So yeah, these two.
Okay. Jones has this question: can I pursue MBA finance and CA simultaneously? Will CA enhance my chances of getting in prestigious or high-paid jobs? Okay.
Exactly. So you can definitely pursue MBA finance along with CA, right? I have friends who are pursuing MBA finance in FMS Delhi and are also simultaneously pursuing CFA, right? So you can actually mix CFA as well in the mix, right? If you have the time to do forward with that. And definitely certifications like CFA, CAs, which hold prestige in the market, and in the eyes of recruiters, definitely help you to land a much better job in finance. So I think, yeah, you can definitely go forward with it, and it will definitely get you a better company with a better compensation.
So I think that would help. Okay, Kushagra, I think you wanted to know about Sameer's institute. Well, he was from NIT, okay, and then he got into FMS. Okay, so Kushagra is asking that if I've started my preparation from like July for CAT probably, so can I score good in CAT? I mean, they have a lot of time. So what's your take on this?
Right. So I think if you have time, then what I would say is just build your foundation very quickly and then just start practicing, right? Practice more and more. The practice will make you perfect. It will reflect on your mock tests, right? So if you have time, just deliver it on your practicing, right? Try different types of questions, because if you see past CAT papers, like past 3 to 4 years, I have seen now CAT examination pattern has evolved into shocking candidates in each of the slots that you get. So while I was there, then in the morning slot one section was very tough, right? And then in the evening slot, that section become very easy and another section got very tough, right? So CAT will always surprise you with the toughness as well as they will change the pattern slightly, right? So better practice as many variations as you can, so that your mind will become stable and you will be able to handle it on the D-Day, right? That is the trick to excel cat.
Absolutely. Okay. Where do we look for summer internships to apply for, and what skills is must before starting your internship? Okay, this question comes from Aditya.
Right. So for summer placements, I think the first and foremost is the placement cell of your B school. That is the primary source for most of the students in Indian B school campuses. The second is definitely LinkedIn or through your referrals, right? So I think these two are the primary modes where you can land your summer internship, right? Your preferred summer internship. The first one is, it's fixed. Every B school has a placement cell, or a training and placement cell like that, and they'll have certain rules, certain guidelines, and you will have to participate in that process to get your summer placements. For sourcing your internship on your own, you can make use of LinkedIn. You can reach out to recruiters, you can reach out to people who are working in those organizations where you also want to work. So go there, have a CV, display it, share it with your network, build a network, right? And all those things. That's an unstructured way to land a summer internship, but yeah, that is a way, and many people do that.
All right. Coming to some more questions. Okay, how can I find my weak section, and should I start giving mocks in the beginning itself? Okay.
Right. So as soon as you have covered the syllabus once, you should start giving mock tests, right? Start giving mock tests, do the revision side by side. Your mock scores will improve eventually. There will be plateaus or downstreams or upstreams in your graph, but it will eventually improve if you stretch the graph. If you just zoom out, then you will see the improvement. Now coming to when you should start giving mock, or you should give full length mocks or sectional mocks, I think you should just practice, right? But there is a pinch of salt here that as soon as your examination day approaches, you should stop giving sectional mocks and go for full length mocks, right? Because sitting there for 3 hours and constantly solving requires a certain stamina that you need to build before you sit for your final exam, and that stamina will take around 1 month to be there in your mind. So before the examination date, for 1 month, just go for full length mocks. Before that, you can choose. If you are short of time, then go for sectional mocks. If you have sufficient amount of time, go for full length mocks. So yeah, that will be my take.
Okay, Afrin, just picking up your question. Don't worry. I am trying to take everyone's query, okay, one by one. Okay, can we do a summer intern being a UG student? Actually, I wanted to do one to grow my knowledge and skills, to know things more accurately while doing my graduation. Is there any way to do this? Okay.
Right. So you can definitely do summer internship in your UG as well. I mean, the roles will be different because the expectations from a postgraduate student in corporate and undergraduate students is different, right? But yeah, definitely you can do it, and that internship in your undergraduation will help you to land better jobs once you enter a B school, right? Because that will be a corporate experience that will be there in your CV, one page of CV, and that will spark the interest of recruiters towards you, right? So definitely you can do it. Now, how you can land the internship in undergraduate? Again, there are two similar ways. One is your placement cell of your undergraduation, and second is through platforms like Internshala, or any other sort of way where you can get these internships. Like one of the most prominent ways is to go to LinkedIn, go in the job section, and just filter it as part-time or internships, and type on the keyword where you want to work. You want to work in marketing, you want to work in data analytics, just type in, search for the roles, apply through LinkedIn, and you'll get the internship.
Right. Okay. Okay. I could see another question regarding foreign impact. Doing MBA from foreign impacts more on the job perspective, and how about pursuing MBA courses, from foreign universities?
Yes. So I have done, one of my UG internships in Canada, and there I interacted with a lot of MBA students that were there in the university, right?
Yeah.
So, MBA in India, if you compare it with outside, it's very different, right? In the fact that in India, you have something called placements in B schools, right? Whereas if you go to US or Canada or, Australia, there the B schools is more about learning and networking, right? They don't have placement support at all. right? So you will be applying off campus and you will be sending CVs. But what happens is they provide a very good network structure to you. So you will have dinners with corporates, you will have dinners with your alumni of those institutions that will eventually, offer you a job, right? So it's slightly different. So, if you are a people loving person who, loves to interact with people, wants to network more, then I think an MBA from abroad makes more sense, because it will, throw you in a much more bigger market and a wide variety of roles.
Right, absolutely. Thank you for that answer. Okay, coming to your question. Okay, Rushikesh, I'll take up your question. Don't worry. Okay, so he is asking about placement. Okay, let's see if I can find a question. Okay, so he's saying that if I get placement offer through finance internship in September, probably in next 1 or 2 months, while preparing for CAT, so like should he take up that? What should is advisable for him?
Yes. So my advice would be to take up that offer, right? Until unless it doesn't hamper your preparation much, right? Because CAT preparation don't require delivering a lot of quantity of time, as in case with, a UPSC preparation or something, because syllabus is quite simple. You just need to practice it more, right? So if it doesn't hamper your time schedule for CAT preparation, then I would say definitely go for a corporate experience if you get a chance, and especially in finance, because that is aligned to your MBA dream as well, right? So yeah, that will be my answer.
Okay. So another question that I see is any tips for someone who is a BSc Math graduate going to enter into MBA Finance in an average college, and the person has nil knowledge. I think Jones has this question: nil knowledge in computers and internet. So probably he's looking for like any specific powerful skill set that he must develop.
Right. So if you are interested in, pursuing a career in finance, then I would strongly recommend go for a certification like CFA, because that is very renowned across corporates. So that will help you land finance jobs in campus as well as outside campus, right? So go forward with your CFA preparations. There will be a very good learning curve as well, right? Apart from that, your technical skills, what I would say is you should know how to, handle Excel, how to handle PowerPoints, and there are open source videos out there on YouTube where you can learn it for free and within a few weeks, right? So if you think that you lack technical skills, then just go forward with learning it through a free online platform, and you will be well versed with it in a week or two. So yeah, you can definitely get those technical skills.
Right, right. Okay. Coming to a few more queries. All right, let's see. How can one grab opportunities off campus? Okay.
Right. So of grabbing an opportunity off campus requires you to network with people, right? With people, with HRs over LinkedIn, right? Even if you have, a professional connection from your past company, then you can reach out to it. If you have someone from your undergraduation who is working in that company, they can, probably connect you with an HR or recommend you. So, it requires a lot of, networking across LinkedIn, as well as you should go through few of the portals. As I mentioned that, LinkedIn Jobs is one such portal. Apart from that, you can look forward to, directly going to your target company's website and just drop off your CV in case, and, just write, in case you have any suitable roles for me, right? They can reach out to you. So just drop off your CVs to multiple places, and, your profile will be shortlisted for any work that they'll find you suitable for.
Absolutely. Okay. Coming to your questions, this is Swati. Okay. So Swati says, when we get good college after working so hard for MBA in this 2 years program, what are the important points according to you, which should be always kept in mind for good learning and, getting placed in a good company?
Right. So once you, enter your dream B school, what you should do is you should try to explore your own interests in campus, right? Because that is, because, post any graduation, the life in life, you need to be motivated to do that work, right? So you should find your motivation, you should find your passion in that work, right? And that is where a B school environment, will be an ideal place to explore, right? Because you'll be having different sorts of people with different experiences prior to their MBA. So you can learn from their experiences. You can, you'll be attending multiple courses. You will have many electives to take up, right? You will be doing a summer internship, right? So you will have a lot of exploring opportunities, right? So once you enter your B school, just explore all these opportunities, find what you love to do, what you are motivated to do, and then just pursue that, right? So that will be my plan to go forward with your B school journey.
Coming to some more queries. All right. Are you aware of any online business or management competitions one can take part in while doing graduation?
Right. So while doing graduation, there are a lot of business school competitions that are floated to undergraduate colleges as well. So, even FMS Delhi also floats it to many undergraduate colleges. So yeah, you are open to participate and, just show your skill sets to the people in the B school as well. And when you enter the B school, you will be thrown with lots of case competitions with lots of exciting prizes and pre-placement interviews and offers. So yeah, you will definitely enjoy that whole process. And in undergraduate level, just explore these institutes, just reach out to their clubs, marketing clubs, consulting clubs, because they are the ones, they will be organizing it every year. So you can definitely participate on that.
Right. Okay. I could see another question from Dipti Moy. Okay, Dipti Moy says that I have completed my B.Ed after graduation with English honors, but now want to pursue MBA with HR specialization. So, will my academics affect placement as I had a very different academic path? Okay.
So if you are someone from B.Ed, then it will definitely not affect it. Even what I would say is your undergraduation specialization will never affect your MBA program unless you are applying for a very specific role which requires you to have knowledge of software engineering or something like that. Apart from that, 90% of the jobs won't even slot you in from your undergraduate preferences, right? So what I would say is you can definitely go for an MBA in HR, and there will be no consequences of your undergraduate being different from an average B school student that is there. So yeah.
Okay, so quickly, let me just launch the poll before we go towards the final 5 minutes of the session. So I would request all of you, we'll pick last one or two questions before we wrap up the session. But between that, I would request you to fill up this feedback poll that you can see on your screen. So if you have loved the session till now, if you got your answers solved, because we were trying to take up all your queries, and Sameer, I think, had answered almost all your doubts from UG level to your MBAs and placement process. So do rate us on this feedback poll, and what all topics would you like to have in future webinars, what all sessions you want us to organize. You can drop us an email on that as well, and I would definitely try and plan up sessions that you would like to see. So we will definitely work on that. And if this session was useful, if you want to recommend these webinars to your friends, so please do rate us. This is very, very important for us. So meanwhile you're filling up, we'll just Sameer, quickly pick a few questions from them. Okay, so I could see another question about learning a foreign language. How beneficial is it connected with MBA? Is it in demand, or is it okay to have an additional knowledge?
Right. So, if you know another language, then it's definitely a plus point and never a negative point for you as a profile for a recruiter. However, I would say that, if you want to relocate to a specific geography, let's say you want to relocate to Europe and you want to learn French because you want to work in France, right? Then, learning French early on in your career would be a big plus point for you. However, if you want to stay in India, then I think, getting a foreign language certification or, learning that language won't be that much of a plus point, provided you should not put in very much efforts into learning that language. Instead, focus on the skills that you want to get in, the hardcore skills of an MBA that a graduate should have. Those will be much important.
Absolutely. So that's what I said, that learning something won't be a problem for anyone, right? Okay, last one question that I could see is balancing academics and internships simultaneously.
Right. So, if you'll see, then, you will realize that one pager CV of your, of your B school placement process, the first header is your educational qualifications, where all your marks from 10th, 12th and graduation will be put in, right? So definitely recruiters do see all the academic performances, and they don't just look for academic excellence. What they look for is academic consistency, right? They want to know that that person is a hardworking person, is a motivated person, and your academics in a certain way indicates that, right? So you should not focus on achieving very high excellence in academics, but you should have a trajectory of growth in your academic career. So that is what you should focus on. And coming to balancing it with internship, what I would say is, both, once you enter the B school, then in your academic part, you should focus on academics first and then go for your summer internships in the summer break that you get, right? So you work hard towards your academics while you are in the college. And once you join your summer internship company, then work hard there as well. And you will be sorted. So there is no overlap in that sense.
Yes. So I think a lot of you were asking about Vimal. We already discussed about a lot of engineering background and non-engineering background. Also, a lot of you were asking about CAT sessions particularly. So in this short span of time, we cannot discuss entirely about the syllabus, but we already had lot of sessions on CAT. So I'm just sharing the YouTube link for Shiksha. We have got those individual sessions uploaded for CAT particularly. So just go through our YouTube channel, and we have lot of sessions on CAT. Like we had individual sessions for CAT preparation. We had a CAT percentile topper, who is a faculty in Mumbai. So just go through those videos, and definitely those will really help you in planning and preparing for your exams. Okay. So just go through our videos. Those are really helpful. There are a lot of different faculties, and they are helping you out in that. Okay, Saurabh, I'll just pick your last question. Saurabh says that my percentage is below 50. So, like, what should I do in that case? I mean, maybe he's feeling low, not enough confident to,
Right.
take up MBA. So, your suggestion for him?
Right. So, you cannot change your percentage now, right? So it's a thing that will be there. What you should focus on is, getting experiences, that getting corporate projects, getting life projects, doing something extraordinary that will fade away that lower academic performance, right? Because what recruiters look for is certain high performances, certain spikes in your resume or your career trajectory, right? They won't mind if you have scored lesser in your undergraduate. I mean, everyone has been in their low in some part of their life, so they do understand that. But what I would like you to focus on more is then trying to get more better points for your CV, doing something exceptional, try doing something exceptional, something different that will make you stand out from the crowd when you enter a B school, right? And that is where the recruiters will also get impressed. So your lower performance in undergraduation won't make a much difference if you start working hard in getting those.
So okay, so I think we did answer a lot of query. I know the questions won't end, but if you have any questions left, you can reach out to us on mail probably, and you can also drop your queries on shiksha.com. Don't worry, we'll be coming up with a lot of MBA sessions, and we'll plan more such sessions. And I feel that the session was useful to you. I know there are a lot of queries that we could not pick up. 60 minutes is never enough for picking up a lot of queries, but yes, I will definitely ask Samir if you can drop your LinkedIn profile link here in the chat for all of them.
Yes,
so,
for sure.
So I think if you want to connect with him, definitely we cannot share any personal details, but he's there on LinkedIn. So probably you can reach out to him, and he can guide you whenever it's possible for him to help you out. So definitely we can do that for you. I've also given up our website link, and you can always reach out to us on mail as well. Okay. So I think there are a lot of queries you might have in coming time also. So you can reach out to us on these platforms. We're there on LinkedIn also. So for any upcoming webinar that we'll be hosting, because we are planning up a lot of MBA sessions for all of you. So probably you can reach out to Shiksha on our social media handles, and we will definitely try and get more such sessions if you request for more such sessions. And for CAT, there are a lot of sessions that we have already done, and we will be coming up with more MBA entrance exams. We will be having SNAP, we did ZAT, we did NMAT as well. So all the videos will be there up on our YouTube. So just go through the videos. They are there. Go back to the videos, listen to the topics and understand. In fact, this video, all these video, you'll be finding it very soon on YouTube. So anytime you can share it and watch it. Okay. So for your reference, I'm just dropping Shiksha's LinkedIn profile as well. So is there anything that you want to get connected with us? Just drop us a message over here or probably connect with us via emails also. And lastly, Samir, thank you so very much. I think you had answered all their queries almost, and did try to answer the best you can, all their doubts and queries. I think we picked up a lot of queries individually, and that really helped. So one last thing you would like to advise all the aspirants out here?
Yeah, so for all those aspirants who are just taking up their CAT and preparing for CAT, what I would say is just focus on practice and don't fear about that this B school is better or will I get my dream B school, because every B school will provide you opportunities that will help you to reach your dream, right? So don't worry about the CAT preparation, just practice more, give a full-hearted attempt, and once you enter the B school, everything will be there to pursue for you.
Absolutely. And I wish all of you all the very best. And don't worry, there is a lot of sessions coming up for MBA. So we'll soon connect again with some more webinars. And I hope the session was helpful to all of you. So thank you, Samir. And thank you to all of you for joining us on this session. See you soon.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel.